Hey YouTube, welcome back to Dwayne's World. So do you want a better and maybe even a funner way of killing off mosquitoes? Well, I got the product for you. You want to find out what it is? Better stay tuned. Alright, so welcome back to Season 4, Episode 24 here on Dwayne's World. And I got to tell you, today's episode is something that is definitely near and dear to my heart. And what it is, it's about how to kill mosquitoes. Yes, that's right. I know mosquitoes are something that we all deal with. Now, I don't necessarily believe there's any one product out there that's going to cure it 100%. However, there's a lot of products on the market that probably would help minimize some of the problems that you are currently experiencing. And yes, there are different solutions, different types of treatment that you can definitely go with. But today, I'll be featuring for you guys a product that not only should be effective, but fun to use. And what that product is a product made by a company called Pro that basically takes your blower and converts it to a mister or a fogger, which is much more effective when you're ever trying to spray or kill off any type of mosquitoes. Now, the one thing about this video, this is not a sponsored video. I purchased the Pro off of Amazon, and I'll go ahead and link it in the description below, so if you guys want to take a look. And when looking at it, and we're looking at the Pro as far as the different options that are available in the kits that they offer, there's basically two separate kits. One that actually comes with the manual pump sprayer, so that way all you would need is the blower, or the kit I'll be showing you guys today, which is pretty much the same thing, which does not include a sprayer. Now, when it comes to spraying any type of insecticide, there's a variety of different type of products you can use to put into your pump sprayer. Ultimately, that's 100% up to you. For today, I'm going to use something pretty basic, and I'll show you guys that as we continue to go through the video here. But I've yet to pick one out that is specifically targeted for mosquitoes. If you guys have any suggestions, please comment down below. I'll go and take a look at it because I am still in the market for finding one that may actually work better to be able to kill off the mosquitoes when using this particular system. All right, so with that, let me go inside, show you guys the kit, and how it all goes together. All right, guys, so let's kind of take a look here and see what you get anytime you pick up one of these Pros that, again, pretty much converts your blower into a fogger through the use of a tank sprayer when you hook up this kit to it. Now, the kit does include a variety of adapters that will allow you to be able to connect to most tank sprayers, whether it be manual or battery powered like I'll be using in today's video. It does include different nozzles that you can adapt to the unit, and I'll explain why I'm choosing to use the one that's currently installed here. And then you have your main line here, which your insecticide is going to run through. You have a little shutoff valve here at the end of the unit, and then again, the adapter that you'll be using that fits your particular application. Now, clamps and straps are also included to help secure this particular unit to the actual blower. Now, as we get into the video, I'll explain to you why I chose to go with this nozzle versus using this nozzle, as where you may think this is the better nozzle to use because there's more heads on it. All right, so before I mix up my actual solution and insecticide that I'll be using today, let me go ahead and attach this to the blower and give you guys an idea of how it's set up. All right, guys, so now that I have my blower here up on my table here, I'm going to go ahead and actually secure this particular nozzle here to the blower, and let me show you how I'm going to do that. And the way we're going to do that is by using the included clamp here that's basically going to hold this particular nozzle in place. Now, this is intended, obviously, to go on the front of the unit, as you guys can see here. Now, one of the things I do like about this Eagle blower here is, if you guys can see here, and I'll kind of see if I can zoom in here, but on most Eagle blowers, you have this little knob here, and it actually helps out because you're able to line up into that little crevice there. So it's just kind of nice the way that that's particularly set up. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just install my clamp here. Just keep that loose for the moment. And then we'll go ahead and actually install our nozzle here on the front of the unit. Now, things I did notice here, it did kind of slide out of place just slightly. There we go. As you guys notice here, there's this little notch there. And up top, as you guys can see there, to kind of just hold it in place. Now, you do want to be a little bit careful. You do not want that to be kinked, and that's pretty much what I'm trying to prevent right there, and I think that looks pretty good. Now, we'll go ahead and just set that there. I'm going to go ahead and just loosen up my clamp, get this in place here, slide it over. Now, one of the things I'll just point out is there are little notches here that may or may not be coming out on video, but basically I like to secure my clamp in between those notches. And I'm basically just going to hold it down. Now, you do want to make sure this is fairly secure. so that way it doesn't blow off when you're using it. And that looks pretty good right there. All right, so now we're just going to go ahead and take the rest of the line here. Just kind of set that out of the way for just a moment. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the included Velcro strap here just to hold everything down one step further on the back side of the unit. Just like that, right there. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and grab my tank sprayer, so that way we can put the whole system together. All right, guys, so now I'm going to break out my Ryobi backpack sprayer. I'm going to show you what actual insecticide I'll be choosing to go with. You know, for those of you that have followed my channel for quite a while, you guys may remember this was my primary backpack sprayer, you know, kind of back in the day before I picked up my Alien Tabby. But I still find uses for this particular backpack sprayer, such as what I'm using for today. However, as I mentioned earlier in the video, you can pick up this kit with the actual manual pump sprayer. But this is one of the reasons why I chose to go with the kit I chose to go with, because I wanted to use my battery-powered backpack sprayer, and I didn't necessarily have that need to use a manual pump sprayer. So for the insecticide I'm going to be using today, I'm going to use the brand called Compare and Save. I've used this for quite a while. It works out really, really well. The active ingredient is Bifenthrin, which is a pretty common active ingredient that you'll find in a lot of insecticides. It works well to really be able to control the majority of different type of insects and bugs that are out there. Now, I'm also looking at other options too that I could possibly use. Again, my goal here is to really get rid of the mosquitoes more than anything else. And Bifenthrin will definitely do the job. However, there might be other products that you may have tried. Let me know what you guys think in order to control mosquitoes if you have a similar kit, or anything in general you guys have definitely seen that has worked really well against mosquitoes. So the rate I'm going to go with is pretty much the full rate, which is 1 ounce per gallon. I already have 2 gallons of water in my backpack sprayer. So now I'm going to go ahead and just add in the insecticide, and we'll go ahead and mix it all up. All right, that's 1 ounce right there. All right, and now we'll add our 2nd ounce there. There we go. All right, so now I got my little paint mixer here, what I like to use to be able to mix up any chemicals I have in a backpack sprayer. And we'll go ahead and give it a mix. All right, guys, so in order to connect the two, all I'm going to do here is disconnect this part of my wand. And then we're going to go ahead and just install it to the end of the kit. All right, so now as soon as I depress on that particular lever here, it's going to flow through and we'll be able to spray it out. All right, guys, let me kind of point something out here and why I chose to go with this particular nozzle versus using this one here. Now, if I install this one here, what I was noticing is a lot of this spray was actually happening outside the reach of my particular tube. Now, I know that Miss Pro also sells a different one where it's basically a 5-in-1 nozzle where you have the 4 on the end here. You also have 1 in the middle. This particular nozzle is going to be blowing straight out, which then the blower will help direct it in the right direction. I find that when I'm using this one, it's basically just spraying it all around, and it's making it harder to direct the insecticide to where I want it to go. That's why I'm choosing not to use that one, and I'm choosing to use that one to make it a little more direct, and that way I can get it where I want it to go. All right, guys, so now we're going to go ahead and give it a try. Now, I absolutely love this product. A lot of times mosquitoes will hide in trees, and more importantly, they'll hide underneath the leaf, which makes it actually difficult to be able to get insecticide to the underside. But that's where the blower comes in. That's going to make it easier for the insecticide to be able to stick to multiple parts of the leaf and not just the top side. So let's go ahead and see how well it works. Not too bad, not too bad. We'll come over to this side here. All right, then on shrubs like this. Oh, look at all the bugs. They hate it. Over here. Now right here, I do have an avocado tree. Over here I have a peach tree. Over there I got an apple tree. I'm not going to spray those. But these oleander plants, they're fair game. Alright guys, so areas like this, definitely I know are going to be housing a lot of mosquitoes, so go ahead and take care of this area. One thing I can also do is be a little more gentle here, not use the blower, and just use the mister if I need to. Just kind of nice, just like that. Again, this area here. And in this area here, definitely want to be a little more gentle. You don't want to cause any problems. All right, guys, so you guys see me use the sprayer in action. Probably curious, Dwayne, what are your thoughts? Well, let me tell you, I believe the kit is a very, very good value. And I say that for a couple different reasons. I feel like it was very user-friendly, but it might have a little bit to do with my particular setup, and I'll kind of explain why I say that. But especially when you compare this system to the actual system, meaning if you were to buy a backpack sprayer blower, the price comparison isn't even a comparison. However, maybe if I had my own business and I was actually doing this for a living, yeah, the kit is probably not something I would have invested in. I probably would have had the actual backpack sprayer blower for those particular applications. However, if you're like me and you like to do things around the house, you're a DIYer, you want professional results without obviously having to call a professional every time, this kit is something I think you should definitely look at. Now, the reason why I say that this kit may have worked a little more seamlessly for me is because, for example, if I had to use the pump sprayer, I don't think I would have liked this kit as much. Because of the fact I was able to use my battery-powered backpack sprayer and easily depress the trigger to release the insecticide where the blower can go to work. It made it a very simple system where I can continuously walk around and spray wherever I needed to spray. But if I had to continuously build up pressure, that's going to make it a little more challenging, in my opinion, for this system to work as well. Now, maybe you don't have as much square footage as I do. You're only going to spray a limited amount. Yeah, maybe the pump sprayer will work out fine for you if you're only having to spray a couple shrubs. All right, guys, so I think that's going to about do it for today's episode here on Dwayne's World. It's always fun being able to put together these product videos for you guys. But I'll leave you with this. In order for you to kill off those mosquitoes and or any of those bugs you're dealing with in your lawn or on your property, remember, be excellent, party on.